Hello and welcome to another edition of The Great Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Well, it's that time of year again. It's almost Matranacht, or sometimes it's known as Modranicht. Mark it on your calendars, only 20 days left till Matranacht. Today, I would like to discuss with you Goddess's female children. Now, last time we discussed Goddess's male children. Now, this time we want to discuss Goddess's female children. And Goddess loves all of her children equally. So what this means is that she has no preference for one creature over another or one gender over another. She loves all her children equally. And she especially loves human beings because human beings are the higher intelligences in this universe, and she loves her human children very much. She loves them all equally. She doesn't love one gender more than another. And she really, really loves her female children. Now, we discussed how much Goddess loves her male children last time. I just want the women out there to know that they're cherished just as much. They're cherished equally as much as the male children by Goddess. And we know that a lot of Goddess worshippers are female. A lot of Goddess worshippers are women, and the majority, it seems, of Goddess worshippers are women. Well, that doesn't mean that there aren't male Goddess worshippers out there. There are, and they're very, very devoted to Goddess. But the female Goddess worshippers are more, there are more of them, and Goddess appreciates the fact that her female children worship her. And in fact, she appreciates it so much that she's given her birthright to the female children. The birthright originally belonged to the male children, which was her special love for her male children. She's given that now to her female children because they're the only ones who are out there worshiping her, and she sees that. She knows that. She knows that her female children are worshiping her. Now, the men can get their birthright back. They can get their birthright back by worshiping Goddess. But for now, the birthright passes to the female children because the men ignored Goddess, and women are mostly worshiping Goddess. So the birthright passes to the female children. And this means that Goddess shows favor upon her female children. She showers favors upon them because they're worshiping her. And if only the male children could be brought in to worship Goddess as well, then they would also incur Goddess's favor. But for now, the Goddess worshippers are mainly female children, and mainly women. So what we need to do is we need to recruit men into Goddess worship. We have to bring them in and encourage them to worship Goddess with us, because it can't be just all female children. It can't be just all women worshiping Goddess. There needs to be a balance. There needs to be men worshiping Goddess as well. Now, I want to discuss briefly the special danger that goes with being a female child of Goddess. The danger is that you worship yourself instead of Goddess. In other words, you see yourself as a little goddess with a little g, and that you worship yourself as a goddess instead of Goddess. And this danger goes along with being a woman. It goes along with being female. But I want you to know that Goddess alone deserves your worship. Goddess alone is worthy of your worship, and she loves you so much, she really deserves to be worshipped by you. She really does. And you are not deserving of worship. You are not worthy of worship. Only Goddess is worthy of worship. So if you've been worshiping yourself as a goddess, please stop. Please stop for Goddess's sake. Please stop worshiping yourself as a goddess and worship Goddess alone, because she really deserves your worship. She's really worthy of your worship. And she's all good, and she never hurt a flea. So worship Goddess. And when women do these things, when they worship themselves, they also bring men into the equation. They suck men into it and have the men worship them as a goddess. And that's also wrong. If you've been encouraging a man in your life to worship you as a goddess as part of some, I don't know, kinky sex ritual, please stop it right now, because the men deserve Goddess's love as much as you do, and you're harming them by encouraging them to worship another human like themselves as a goddess. That's wrong. So stop it right now. If you've been doing that, please stop. And also, Goddess really, really wants her female children to worship her, but just like the men, most of her female children have forgotten her completely. They've forgotten her and they worship a male god instead. And she feels really bad about this. She feels real bad that her female children have forgotten her, and she wants to bring them back. She wants the female children to worship her again. So we need to recruit not only males but also females. We need to teach people about Goddess and encourage them to worship her. So, in summary, Goddess deserves your worship. Her female children, she loves them very much. They've received the birthright from the male children for worshiping Goddess, because when they worship her, she gives them her special favor. But she does not smile upon worship of many little goddesses as one great goddess, which is henotheism. She doesn't smile upon henotheism. She doesn't smile upon women worshiping themselves as goddess. And she doesn't smile upon women encouraging men to worship them as a goddess. So those are all things that the Goddess does not approve of that her female children do. And I want you to change. You have a chance now. You have a chance to change your ways and to become a better Goddess worshiper, and to become the kind of female child that the Goddess always dreamed of having. So I'm encouraging you to start today. Start worshiping Goddess. Start praying to her. And you'll find that you incur more of her favor than you would any other way. You'll have her favor, and you'll be loved by her, and she will rejoice in her female children worshiping her. Tune in next time for another edition of The Great Goddess.